Yeah, I'm not scratching my head because my head itches. I'm scratching my head after this Yankees and Red Sox game tonight. Um, so let me explain something about myself. As a kid, I grew up a Yankees fan, definitely, no doubt. Um, Grew up in the late '90s, Jeter, Rivera, Posada, all those guys, Bernie Williams. Um, as I've gotten older and as Jeter's moved on and Rivera's moved on, I've started to realize, man, maybe I was more of a Jeter and a Rivera fan because I don't know, I don't feel heartbroken from this game at all. More or less, just like confused, curious. I don't know, all of the above, and I just wonder what's going to happen with this organization as far as management goes, as far as their ability to play, and it's I get it. Like Alex Rodriguez tonight on the broadcast said the Yankees can't try to play like the Rays or the Astros or the Red Sox. The Yankees have to as far as the front office management goes, they have to play like the Yankees, and they have to play like the Yankees. The Yankees way, which is, obviously in the last 20 years, it's kind of all been a little different. You know, um, the Tory Yankees are definitely a totally different ball club than the Yankees now, and it's really just like, how are you going to find ways to win ball games? And I think tonight is just like the epitome of that. So, in my opinion, I think this game was kind of over after the first inning. Not having LeMahieu in the lineup, obviously, this is the biggest thing. I mean, I'm not gonna try to break down the whole game. Let's just break down like the first. Let's just talk about the first inning because to me the first inning really set the tone. Okay, Rizzo led off tonight. All right, he grounds out. Judge flies out, and then Stanton hits that long single off the monster. Okay. And then Joey Gallo. I mean, Joey Gallo has just been a joke. I don't know what's going to happen with him next year. Um, I don't know. Let's see. Is he a free agent? He's got to be a free agent. Um, I didn't do a lot of research on everybody and break things down. This is going to be a quick video, guys. Let's see. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Who cares if he's a free agent or not? If he's not, let's just get rid of him. So, um, yeah, I just not having LeMahieu in there. Obviously the Red Sox were worried because they weren't going to have Sale coming out of the bullpen. They weren't going to have JD Martinez pinch hit or hit in the lineup at all. So, um, I mean, they were worried about that. But if I'm the Yankees, it's just because they were kind of. I'd almost say the Red Sox, even though we were playing in Fenway, were kind of the underdog in this thing. But for some weird reason, it just I don't know. I feel like after the first inning, this game was over. Um, let's see. Because on the second inning, obviously, Bogarts hits the big home run. And then Schwarber hits his bomb in the third. The whole game obviously did depend on Judge getting thrown out of home plate, and Phil Nevin needs to be reamed for that. And I'll save my Aaron Boone needs to be gone video for another time as well too. But I think Aaron Boone his time has kind of expired at this point, at least in my opinion. I just don't think he's the guy, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with me on that, or maybe disagree. But I don't think Aaron Boone is. It's not that I don't think he can control those guys. I actually think the players have a lot of respect for him. I don't know if he's the right guy to push all the right buttons. It's really hard to say. Either way, it's not working out. And you know, when Girardi was fired or moved out of there, I actually was very like, oh yeah, get Girardi out of there. Now looking back, hindsight's always 2020. Looking back, I'm kind of like, man, I think they should have given Girardi a little bit more of an opportunity, a couple more years, because those players went to bat for Girardi. Those players loved Girardi, and I don't know. Let's see. So let's go to the fifth inning. Is that when Judge got thrown out? No, that was the sixth. Yep, that was the sixth. Okay, that was when Stanton hit that line drive, and that changed the whole thing. It just changed the whole momentum of the whole game. Because in the next inning, Verdugo had an RBI, and he got thrown out at second. And Cole was just not on it. Cole could he the hamstring. Then don't pitch. Let's get somebody, start somebody else. Not necessarily saying let's make it a bullpen game, but I just they asked Boone over the interview. They asked him, why did you go get him? And he all wished it was just time to go get him. It was definitely most time to go get him. It's a 1 game playoff. You only get 27 outs. That's it. That's all this game is for this 1 game playoff. It's 27 outs, and Garrett Cole was just he was not on. He was not. Like I said, I haven't looking at all this to break it down, but just from watching that game tonight, it just felt very anticlimactic. It felt like if the Yankees weren't going to score in that first inning and take the crowd out of it, and basically pull all of the Red Sox emotions out of it, then forget it. You gave those guys a chance, and guess what happened? Bogarts hits a 2-run home run in the first inning, and it's just like that's it. And some of the at bats, it just didn't feel like anybody was really grinding out at bats. It'd be very interesting to look at like how many who had the longest at bat tonight, because maybe I'm wrong, but it felt like the at bats tonight were not very long. Like I said, I didn't do my homework on any of this. This is just from watching the game and kind of reflecting, and then hearing some other people talk on YouTube. I was watching John Boy and stuff, and obviously those guys are devastated. Not a very long post game, videos by a lot of people, because this game was just kind of it was very blah. It was Red Sox took that lead and never looked back. I don't know. Garrett Cole was not on. The Yankees bullpen just did not have it. Let's just kind of look at the score box. Rizzo 1 for 4. He hit the bomb. It was the only time Rizzo got on base. Struck out twice. Aaron Judge 1 for 4. Stanton 3 for 4. Stanton's just like, what a second half for that dude. Just turned it on. Gallo 0 for 4. Gleyber Torres. I don't know what they're gonna do with that guy. I'm really trying to figure out if they say if you're at a position that you love and you feel comfortable there, because obviously he looks uncomfortable as a shortstop. I think any Yankee fan, any baseball fan who's watched a lot of baseball, or in 2021, Gleyber Torres looks uncomfortable at shortstop. But the question is does that suddenly affect his hitting? Obviously, he hasn't hit very well at all this year. So Gardner's at bats look terrible. Is that the last time he's in a Yankee uniform? I don't know his contract either. Urshela got a hit. Okay. So, yeah. But it's obviously fair to say that just Rizzo was 1 for 4, 1-6 inning. Okay, yeah. I think it's fair to say that the Yankees need to definitely look at their organization and figure out what approach are they going to have. They can't approach these things like the Rays. Just not having LeMahieu, man, just not being able to grind out those at bats, and I think that that's what the Yankees need. They need to be built. You got a couple. You can have a couple of good guys that are big, the big boppers like Judge and Stanton, but then around them there has to be other guys that can be. Thank God Sanchez didn't play tonight. Thank God Sanchez didn't start. I just think there's got to be some other guys. Velasquez at shortstop. Velasquez in the lineup. I just think there needs to be some changes. There needs to be some guys out of there. Would like to hear what the hell Phil Nevin was thinking. Um, so yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know if you want to call this a rant kind of video, but maybe just more of a Yankees are really going to have to take a breather. As far as the front. If you're the Steinbrenners, I guess that's the real question. I asked one of my buddies who's a Yankee fan. If you're one of the Steinbrenners, what are you doing? What are you thinking right now? You soaked in this whole season. You had this roller coaster of a season where you're hot, you're not, you're hot, you're not. You have the devastating Field of Dreams game. What was the other game? When they played the Mets, they had those. They had that game that they dealt with. Just what I don't know. What are you taking from this whole thing? Were you expecting? I think they were expecting to possibly win this game, but they weren't going to get past Tampa Bay, and there's probably no way in hell they were going to get past Houston either. So, they weren't even. They looked like they were dead in August for a while too. So. Definitely going to be an off season for these Yankees, and definitely going to have to try to figure out what exactly they are going to do. Yeah. For me personally, it doesn't feel. Yeah, I consider myself a Yankee fan, but it doesn't feel as heartbreaking as past seasons. Back in the old Jeter days when they wouldn't go all the way, because I don't know. I didn't expect them to do it, but they got to figure this out. There needs to be some either kind of culture change, of and maybe just the old expectations of you got to win this thing, because I don't know if I feel that with this group. So, be interesting to see what they do with Rizzo. Will they keep him? Will he be gone? There's a lot of rumors. Spoke to another friend of mine that just thinks that they're going to trade Judge. They're going to trade for him and just go get something and just continue to build that farm system. It's going to be really hard to beat Tampa Bay in these next couple of years if they just keep doing the thing they're doing, and maybe if Boston comes back pretty strong, and then of course Toronto. Toronto's going to have a great year next year as well too. So, but anyways, just my little rant about the Yankees and their 2021 season and the American League wildcard game. Maybe tomorrow after Dodgers Cardinals, we'll do another video like this. Maybe do a live one. I don't know. But yeah, so hit the like button, subscribe, let me know your thoughts. What do the Yankees need to do? If you're a Steinbrenner, what are you doing in the next couple weeks? What does the winter meetings look like for you? You go start spending some money and say, let's do this in 2022. What does this offseason look like? Is it going to be just kind of another mediocre offseason? You going to spend the big money like you have in the past and actually bring a championship to New York, to the Bronx? So, yeah. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your night.